Hey, what's happening, guys? It's me again. Welcome back to the channel, RC Customs USA. I am just released a video not super long ago about my Oni RC build for a SEX6. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It kind of gives a show of a custom build using a custom chassis from a buddy of mine. Sorry about the noise in the background. I have some batteries on the charger. My son wanted to go play tomorrow, so I'm trying to get some batteries charged up. But I'm going to show a new, well, not new, I got it in a trade, but another RC I'm going to start tearing down and trying to fix, get it running. So hope you enjoy. So as you can see, it looks like a Traxxas Max, but it's not. Take the body off, which seen better days, but it is actually a Redcat Kaiju. Got it from a buddy of mine in a trade. He told me he thinks the diffs are shot. I would say so. Yeah, definitely looks like it. So I'm gonna start the process of tearing this down, and be nice. I don't really have this size of a basher, so be nice to get it tore down, get it fixed back up, and that way I have something, a little bit smaller to bash on. That way I don't have to always rely on my big X Max to, run around and do whatever with. So hope you enjoy. Like I said, it needs some work, but I knew that when I got it. But this is what I like to do. I like to tear things apart and make them nice again. So hope you enjoy. And yeah, I'll try and do better about documenting everything as I'm taking it apart and all that. So bear with me. I do plan on getting like a camera set up or something that'll kind of look right there and look more down facing me. But until then, I'll just try and kind of piece it in here and there as I get stuff done. So, all right, so got the wheels and tires off. He told me something about one of them needing re-glued. Let's say that's accurate. It might actually be, yeah, it looks like multiple of them need re-glued. So, kind of preliminary. Looks like hub pins coming out. I still think something's weird with the diffs in it. Probably pretty much wore out. Overall, I mean, the chassis looks like it's in, well, it's dirty, don't get me wrong, it's filthy, but overall it looks like it's in pretty good shape. It's got some upgrades, got some aluminum fronts on it. Don't know exactly who made those, but it looks like it's got aluminum front hubs on it. Looks like it's got some aluminum, maybe some aluminum steering in it. I do know that it's got an upgraded castle system in it. Essentially, yeah, it's an upgraded steering servo, but it's an aftermarket, nothing fancy. Looks like this shot cap's destroyed on it. Yeah. Overall, it's in pretty decent shape. Needs a lot of cleaning. So my next goal is I'm gonna rip all the electronics out of it, and then start kind of just breaking it down into sections. And then from there, I will wash it real good, go through, kind of assess everything, and I guess get an inventory of parts and, work on ordering parts for it. Alright, so I got a little bit more done. All the hardware that I'm taking out, I got the electronics out. Skid plates, shocks, front crash bar. As you can see, it's kind of just a flopping chassis now. Upon further inspection, a little bit of slop in the diffs, but they look like they're in pretty good shape. Same thing for the rear. Look like it's in pretty good shape. I'll have to take these apart and see what the inside spider gears look like. Hopefully they are just really, I guess maybe dry in there, and thus are allowing it to spin. Maybe if I can put some heavy oil in it, then it'll be good. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'm gonna step away for the night, and I will be back in maybe tomorrow morning time. I gotta see what I have going on. But yeah, stay tuned. Alright, so far I got the main chassis taken out, rear wheelie bar taken off. Still gotta break that apart, but I'm gonna start pulling these diffs apart. Kind of just trying to keep track of where stuff goes and all that. So I've done this a handful of times, not necessarily with this chassis, but I usually try and print out the parts breakdown, which usually helps out with, you know, kind of seeing where stuff goes back together and all. So hopefully it'll come out pretty good. I do know that I will need a new bumper. Honestly, that's the only really like broken thing I see so far. So hopefully it was just maybe, I want to say he said it might have been the motor that was bad in this. But either way, I'll go through it. Worst case scenario, I'll either put a new motor in it or see if that one works, see if I can get it working. But how's it going? So I don't know why I keep saying that because it's all in the same video. Basically, I went through, re-glued the tires, peeled back the areas that were lifting out, and put some glue in there, and then kind of shoved the tire back in there. And then I went around and did a bead of glue all the way around. Did that on all 4 tires. That way that's good. When I got this from my buddy Ryan, I think he said this one had a bad motor, or maybe it was bad ESC. So this is what I do whenever I'm trying to test my motors and ESCs and servos and stuff, is I do basically all the electronics set up outside the vehicle. So I get a receiver. This one is, this is a knockoff Vanquish receiver, but it works really well with the Vanquish V1T or VT1 remote. It's multi-channel, so I like this a lot. Small, nice, and kind of, you know, you can, but as you can see, got some torque behind it, but it all works. I don't know how good that steering servo is going to be fully set up and stuff, but that's on a 3S. I'll have to see what this ESC's. So this is rated for up to a 6S. So I probably wouldn't run this on more than a 4S. I don't know. I might run 6S. It just depends. But yeah, I got to get these fans sound horrible. Here, I'll plug them in so you can hear. I mean, they're not that bad, but I might see if I have another set of fans I can throw on it. But yeah, because this is definitely going to get hot, so I need to keep this cool. So yeah, next step is everything in here is nice and clean. Well, as clean as I can get it. I got to get that adhesive right there. I got to get that off the bottom of the chassis, which won't be hard. And then I'm going to start putting everything back together. So other than that, I need to take the diffs apart. I want to check the gearing inside, or the spider gears inside of those. Let me turn this off. I need to check the gearing inside of that to verify that it is okay. I will probably put a heavier weight oil in it to kind of firm it up and kind of mimic a locked diff. I won't do like, I'm not going to fully lock them because you don't want, you know, fully locked on a basher. You want it to have a little bit of play, but yeah. So I'm going to go to work, but when I get back tonight, I will tear this out and, or take all this out and go through and start getting it all together. One thing I have found that's really helpful is if you can find your parts breakdown and stuff for the vehicle that you're working on, or the RC that you're working on. So it's nice because it shows you what everything is, gives you part numbers. I gotta reprint these because they didn't print out really well, but it even shows you how it all kind of exploded view, yeah, but it shows you how it all kind of goes together. So you know, whenever, like if you took all the steering apart, it shows you how it all sandwiches together. Gives you all the information on screws, bearings. You can take that part number, look it up, and it'll tell you what size that bearing is. So if you want to order new bearings, or if, like, these all seem like they're in good shape, they're all just kind of dirty, so I'm going to go through, clean them up, make sure they all spin freely, and then I'll go through and start putting it all back together. I do know that I need to order a new shock cap. Hopefully I can order that separate. It looks like I can. It looks like it's the cap, the bottom nut, the shock cup, and then the bottom shaft, or the rod end for the shock. So that's gonna be the next steps. It's even nice because it shows you like an exploded diff view. So yep, I'll bring you back in when I have a little bit more progress made. So this is where I am trying to do a little bit different recording. I'm using a tripod setup with my wife's camera. She's got a Nikon D3500. It's not perfect. I'm trying to do a little bit better of like showing me actually working on stuff. So hopefully y'all enjoy it. Here you can see me, I'm going through doing diffs. I got the diffs completely tore apart, going through, pulled all the gears out, re-greasing, or sorry, not re-greasing, putting all new oil and everything. I used some Team Losi racing oil right there. It's kind of just a generic oil. I can't remember, I want to say it's like 60 weight is what I ended up putting in it. So it seemed to do pretty good. Later on in the video, when I end up running it, you can see it does pretty decent. So here I got a bunch of new parts in for it. I got new pins for all the suspension arms, new bearings for everything, new shock caps, new wing for the rear end, and a bunch of stuff I needed to go ahead and start getting it all put together. So here we've got all the diffs put back in. I'm working on putting the front and rear arms on right now. Trying to start getting it back to a roller. It was my first time working on this specific style of car. I've done Arma Sentins before. I've done a 3S and a 6S, but this one was actually quite a bit different. The driveline was set up a lot different. I've never done a Redcat Basher, so it was a decent change from what I was used to. So a lot of this is kind of me comparing stuff, making sure everything's the right length. I'm trying to figure out arms right here, making sure all the arms are the same length, just to make sure there's not like a front and a rear, because sometimes you'll see bashers that have wider arms in the rear or wider arms in the front, whatever it may be for handling. So, and as I've said before, this is all new hardware. That bin right next to me, it's got, you know, all new nuts and bolts and screws. Sorry, it's got screws and washers and nuts. And as I'm going through, I'm kind of just guessing and gauging, you know, based upon how much I think the thread engagement's got to be, is roughly what size screw I'm grabbing. I like to do all the black because it, you know, makes it look a lot better. So as you can see here, I have gotten the rear pretty much all put together. New wing on, new shock caps on the shocks put on. Pretty much the whole rear end's, good to go. So going through right now, the front steering on this one was a little bit different. I haven't seen this kind of like C-hub, but it's not really a C-hub, where the actual steering arm kind of goes inside of it. So trying to get that figured out with the bushings and all that was a pain. Had some issues with, trying to get the right screw length to make sure I didn't interfere with bearings and stuff like that. One thing I did notice before I edited this, or during editing of this, was that the drill sounds are very loud, even on my computer. So I'm going to attempt to, use those to a minimum as I continue recording, or see if there's any way I can like noise cancel them out to where they're not as loud. Because when you go from listening to me to all of a sudden a drill is in your ear, it's pretty distracting. One thing, I had an issue here. I could not get one of the bearings, or not the bearings, it was the bearings, to go into the front side of the hub. I ended up having to take a socket and hammer. It was just like a little piece of metal that I had to hammer past on that specific area. But overall, I was able to get it to go together pretty good. Got all the steering set up. Got the sway bar right now going on. And then towards the end, I believe I end up putting the shocks on it. So I'm going through kind of putting everything 100% together, putting all the bottom guards on it. I forgot the battery straps here. That's obviously really important. So I had to take one of the bottom skids off, put the battery straps back on, flip it back over. I tried to make sure everything rotated freely before I put all the covers and everything on the diffs. Went through, made sure grease was in everything, made sure everything spun freely, bolted all the covers down, put some new covers on the front and the very rear. And overall, it came together really good. Alright guys, so the Redcat Kaiju is pretty much done. Waiting on the body to come in. When I got it, it had the X-Max body, or the Max body on it, but it's pretty beat. It doesn't fit very well, so I'm not gonna get rid of it just in case I get a Max in the future, but it's gonna get a new Kaiju body. So I got body posts coming and a new body coming. So once that gets in, should be beginning of the week, I will finish off this video, try and get a little bit of video of it out on the yard, kind of ripping around and seeing how it performs. But yeah, this is what it looks like. I think it came out pretty well. New shock cups. What all did I do? So new shock cups. All new hardware. Every single piece of hardware in this entire thing is brand new. I got to find my double-sided sticky tape and get this taped down, but that's whatever. New wing, new front and rear bumper pieces. Went through, cleaned everything, greased everything. All new pins for the suspension. All new oil in the fluid in the diffs. Yeah, so might have to adjust the front a little bit because it seems like it's a little kind of down in the front more, but that's not a big deal. So yeah. All right, everybody, I got the final kind of setup for the Kaiju, Redcat Kaiju, done. New body came in, got it all stickered up. It's a pre-painted one. Messed up the window sticker. It kind of tore when I was trying to replace it or reposition it, but I think overall it turned out amazing. I have a 4S battery in it right now. but it can do 6S, but I don't have any all charged up. So kind of wanted to do a run on it and see how it does. The dogs are going to be wild about it, but Nala, leave it. Nala. Oh yeah, it's pretty quick. Keep in mind, this does not have, Nala, leave it. This does not have the stock setup in it. Oh, Nala, stop. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I really like doing these kind of videos where I tear them down and rebuild them. You know, replace parts, make them a little bit better. This had a Traxxas Max body on it, and it wasn't bad, but didn't fit very well. And I honestly don't mind the stock body. Guy I got it from said he didn't mind it either, but the guy that he got it from said he hated the Redcat Kaiju body, and so he got rid of it. But either way, it's not perfect. You know, there's a little bit of stuff here and there that, you know, it's kind of par for doing a rebuild. But overall, I think it looks really good. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one. The next one's going to be a Arma Centon 3S. I think it's the V2 chassis. So, like I said, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. You have any suggestions? If there's anything you want to see on the channel, please let me know. I am more than receptive to any of y'all's input. So yeah, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.